purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors, on this Wednesday, April 24th edition of the program. Very excited about the next hour. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X as well. Big night inside Clark LeClaire Stadium. Pirates beat NC State 10-6. They sweep the season series over the Wolfpack. Jacob Starling hits for the cycle. He's on his way to the studio. He'll join us here any minute now. And Pirates get a 10-6 win, sweep the midweek series. A lot of heroes. We'll recap that with Jacob here shortly. Also looking forward to the second half of our show. We're going to have a mock draft of sorts. Of course, Bobby Horard is our usual Wednesday guest. He will be in studio, and we're going to mock, Philip Pilkington and I, along with Bobby, are going to mock the first 10 picks of the draft, maybe project some trades, and see who can get the most correct as the draft will start on Thursday. And so looking forward to that as we'll get into some NFL talk here on Hoist the Colors in the second half of our show. But we're going to start with some baseball discussion as the man of the hour has joined us in studio. He's Jacob Starling, and fresh off hitting for the cycle. You guys are getting ready for a trip to Memphis, so you had to handle that business this morning as well. But how's it feel? A little over 12 hours, I guess, since probably getting some sleep and celebrating last night.
Yeah, hard to get some sleep after that game,
Yeah.
but just took the night to enjoy the game, reflect on it, and now we're looking forward to Memphis this weekend.
I know, of course, baseball is baseball, so quickly got to turn the page on to Memphis, back to conference play. But let's just kind of relive last night a little bit, Jacob. I mean, first at bat, you go opposite field triple. And nice way to announce your return. We've talked about it a lot in the past. When you're going well, opposite field is, I guess, kind of your bread and butter, using the whole field. So no real rust coming back. Did you feel rust at all in like pregame warmups or anything? Or were you ready to go?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, but I knew once the first pitch was thrown that my instincts were gonna kick in and I was gonna be ready.
And you guys were facing a guy who I think hadn't started before. Y'all probably hadn't seen, so was it just kind of good to get up there and react more so than go super in depth on a scouting report?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's baseball, and good hitters are going to do what they do, and yeah.
So I noticed too, watching you round the bases on the triple, you weren't full speed, Starling. So were there any instructions with the oblique to take it a little easy running the bases?
Nah, just don't do anything to hurt myself,
Yeah.
and first time running the bases, I wasn't gonna blow it out, and I would have taken a double, but hit off the wall pretty hard, so I made a third.
Kind of an awkward situation at third where you were obviously celebrating. Umpire, it was almost like he was looking for a reason to call you out.
I know.
You had your foot, either on the bag or right next to it. Look at your knee, may have been touching it anyways.
Yeah.
So what was up with that?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty ridiculous. I mean, my foot was on the corner of the bag, and nothing in my body moved before he called me out, so it's like you already had an idea of what he was going to do.
Yeah, it was a little strange. You just don't see that a lot unless, you see a guy fall off the bag and a guy called out. That's pretty standard. But at least they got it right after review. Jacob Starling with us. So you hit for the cycle, and I promise you we'll talk about the team in a minute. But, it's obviously a big deal. ECU, Corey Thompson in 2010, who I believe also wore the number 10, was the last to hit for the cycle. Outstanding hitter. So, when you hear 14 years and, I guess there's some luck involved, where you hit it. The last one could have been a home run. Maybe you don't hit for the cycle. But when you hear it's been 14 years with all the great players that have come through here, what does that kind of mean to you?
I mean, it's just special. I mean, I felt God with me that night, and whatever happened in the game, I was just going to leave it up to him, and, it was a special night.
And you told us after the game you didn't know that you needed a double for the cycle. So who was the first to tell you, or did that just the whole team?
I think it was Parker Bird.
Yeah.
When I got back in the dugout, I was just like thanking everybody, and he was like, you just hit for the cycle. And I was like going through all my at bats, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right, I did.
Pretty cool. So you said last year you got robbed of a home run. Who was that
Yeah.
against where you almost had it?
It was opening weekend, game 3.
Okay.
Yeah, against George Washington.
That's right. So, and Cliff Godwin said he didn't know you hit for the cycle till post game.
Yeah.
So I guess y'all are just so locked in on like at bat to bat, you don't even think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas we're just freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad he didn't pull me before that last
Oh
at bat.
gosh. Yeah, he said you were looking a little tired.
Yeah,
I
I was. I definitely was.
So Pirates get the 10-6 win over NC State, and look, a lot was made about Alec Makarovich from us, the media. It's a storyline. We can't ignore it. Cliff Godwin said after the game, Jacob, y'all did a tremendous job of just focusing on yourself. Both times y'all played NC State, not worrying about the hype or any of that stuff, which y'all are pretty used to playing in front of this fan base and everything that goes with it. So how do you feel like y'all did just focusing on ECU baseball at the end of the day?
The best we could have done, honestly. All the fans were looking for reasons for us to, get chippy with them and stuff like that, and we definitely could have, at times throughout the game, but just focused on ourselves and, just played our style of baseball and ended up winning. So
10-6, the final, and a lot of heroes in this one, Jacob, along with yourself, man. Riley Johnson, the things he continues to do, he's battling through injuries, kind of like yourself. 3 for 4, 3 runs. He tripled along with yourself. Had the play where he slid into AMAC at third. So just what can you say about Riley and everything he's gone through? And I don't know if y'all been able to spend any more time together in the training room now, but just crazy stuff Riley's doing.
yeah, we actually both have rehab today.
Okay.
During practice, but just such a great kid, and with all he's been through in his career here, and just how he's stayed positive and stayed a good teammate. I know he's been chomping at the mouth to just get out there and play, and that's why you're seeing the success. Is because he's been preparing for this moment, all this time that he's been hurt, and he deserves it.
And you've talked about it along with Coach Godwin, like all the things he has to do to get ready just to play a game, and he's doing that every time out. So I don't know, as a teammate, does that motivate you even more to get back and play? I know you've been wanting to for a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime I'm dealing with, any little injury, I just look at Riley Johnson. I'm like, if he can do it and have a smile on his face, then there's no reason why I can't.
So you did the oblique, what was it, on a check swing at NC State?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of walk us through like when you knew you were probably going to, have to miss some time.
I felt it in like my second or third at bat. I did like 2 or 3 check swings and 1 at bat. I just really felt it like tighten up. And then throughout the game, just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then finally, the 9th inning, I was like, yeah, I can't go back out there. Thought it would go away after a couple days, but just stayed there and somehow had to deal with.
And obliques are tricky, man, because obviously when you're swinging a bat and you're rotating to throw a baseball and you're running, I mean, it's pretty much involved everything baseball. So I know you probably felt like you could come back sooner. Talking with you last night a little bit after the game, but best to approach it the right way, I assume.
Yeah, definitely. I want to finish out the season without missing any more time. So, just got to be really careful.
And when you're sitting out, and you've been pretty much an everyday player for multiple years now, like how much does that make you realize, man, you take it for granted sometimes as players? We all kind of do, the availability part of it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I remember my sophomore year, or after my freshman year, when I broke my leg, and I was out for a couple of months. I was so motivated to just come back and start playing again, and that made me work even harder. So, there's some good things to it. But
and you said you got some treatment or whatnot to get through today, rehab. What kind of is involved with that? Just making sure you're able to go this weekend. What all do you have to do?
There's so much stretching, physical therapy stuff, BFR. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
It's called blood flow restriction. It's like these things you put on your legs and it like squeezes them.
Okay.
And,
Are those giant pads?
That's Normatec.
Okay.
Normatec, yeah.
I saw a bunch of the basketball players during the season wearing those.
Yeah,
so.
it's the same thing as that.
Okay, so similar type of deal.
Yeah.
Okay, Jacob Starling with us, and obviously coming off a phenomenal game. And, during your absence, we saw Dixon Williams slide over to second and play great. We saw Colby Wallace play third. How much fun was it watching those guys, grow up? And did you, I don't know, try to take them under your wing at all or guide them in any way?
Yeah, definitely. Dixon was my backup last year at second, so I spent a lot of time with him just talking about the game. I knew he was going to go out and play good. He's a great player. Same for Seawall. As a freshman, it's not easy to just be thrown in there, and for him to do what he did was a testament to him, and he's going to be a great player for the next couple years.
East Carolina beats NC State 10-6, and you guys pretty much set a record for attendance like every time. It feels like it almost feels like every few weeks or every month at this point. But again, last night I think 6,056 was the number. And not that you get used to playing in front of crowds like that, but it kind of speaks to the program y'all built over time. Just what is it like to run out there and see that much support on a Tuesday night?
It's crazy. I mean, when school's going on, it's pretty cool to get done with class and know that the environment that you're gonna play in, running on that field before the first pitch is just a unexplainable feeling.
Did you kind of have, I don't know, this game as a target day to get back, or was it just truly day-to-day and, kind of based on how you feel?
Just truly day-to-day.
Yeah.
I mean, every weekend, in my mind, I was like, there's a chance that I play this weekend. But I just feel like last night was the right time.
Josh88 on YouTube says, Justin's starting to find the power. For me, it's like watching you with your swing, Justin, it's almost like when you keep it simple, and you can correct me when I'm wrong, it just kind of happens more so than if you're trying to hit home runs. Is it that simple at times?
Yeah, definitely. When you're trying to do too much, you're never going to get the results you want. But when you just let the game come to you and control what you can control, that's when you're going to have success.
Do you learn anything watching? I think it was 12 games you missed, or is it more just do you try to pick up things here or there, as far as your game that you can apply, or is it more just you're just ready to get back? I don't know if you thought about it all that way.
Just going through mental reps in my head, doing mental at bats, mental defense, just thinking about scenarios that might come when I'm playing. But when I'm in a dugout, I'm really just focused on cheering on the guys that are playing and bringing energy in the dugout.
All right, he's Jacob Starling. We're going to get a break in. We'll come back. We'll have one more segment with Jacob, and we'll get him out of here on this Wednesday. Appreciate him joining us. And if you got a question on YouTube, Facebook, or X, let us know. We'll pass it along to Jacob. All right, we'll be right back. This is Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
New Toyotas, 0 down and only $369 a month at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Buy with 0% or get Corollas. $369 a month with 0 down. This is not a lease. You own it. Plus, get our Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins', we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Dum-dum-dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Ready to save thousands with a great rate? Get 0% financing at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Shop our massive inventory of new Toyotas, available as low as 0%. Hurry to Greenville Toyota today, where our volume saves you money.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and Igo.
Drink up, me hearty show ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Jacob Starling here in studio again. If you got a question, drop it. I was trying to decipher some of these questions. Robert Matthews wants to know something about Jacob Starling's favorite water, but we're not sure how to address it. Either way, let us know. Robert Dedrick says, welcome back, Star, and he has got a general question. How many games can a freshman play and still maintain a redshirt year? Football is 4 games. So basketball and baseball, from my understanding, Robert, are different. Basically, if you play in a game and you're healthy, your redshirt's gone. Now, you can get a medical redshirt in basketball if you play in less than 10% of the games, and then in baseball, it's 30%. So that's my best knowledge. I don't know, Star, if you got anything to add on that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there.
Okay. We'll double-check it later in the show. But if you got any questions, drop it here. All right, so Memphis this weekend, Star, and again, you'll be rehabbing, trying to make sure you're good. Is it just a matter at this point of, I don't know, like you said, blood flow, or just making sure it doesn't tighten back up or something like that?
Just keeping my body loose and flexible. It's really the main focus.
Gotcha. Newton Smith says, Starman, you were on fire, brother. Welcome back. I think Newton's one of your big fans, so yeah. I know he's happy to get you back in the lineup. And going to Memphis, you guys have played there, right, during your tenure. So it seems like y'all have been playing all these conference teams that are new to the league, so a lot of unexpected, I don't know, things going on from week to week, but at least you'll see a familiar foe. They've got a pretty nice park, right?
Yeah, I think they just got it renovated. I think they got a little turf field now, which is good because their field was not very nice last time I was there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully it's much better now, and it can't be any worse than UTSA's. Yeah. I said that, not Star. So just based on what I heard. All right, Robert Matthews says, what is your favorite topwater lure for bass fishing? Do you fish?
I stopped fishing a long time ago.
He says, I know Claunch fishes, thought you did as well.
I would usually just use what they call the rubber worms.
Okay.
Just use those, yeah.
So did you fish more in your days in Florida?
Yeah. Like growing up, I used to fish a lot, but then I stopped. Probably middle school or 9th grade is when I really stopped.
Okay.
But yeah, I used to be really into it.
So post baseball career, whenever that is, do you try to get back into it when you have more time?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I had a lake walking distance from my house.
Okay. So
after school, I would just walk to the lake and sit out there and fish.
So you haven't been able to get on the Tar River and do any fishing yet during your time at ECU?
I have not, no.
Well, maybe after the season. By the way, so exams coming up. Have you graduated yet?
Nah, I graduate May 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
So big time moment coming up. So how many exams you got to deal with? Because today's reading day, correct?
Yes, correct.
And studying here at 94.3 The Games, big deal.
Of course.
And, what exams you got coming up that you're going to have to put some prep in for?
I got 2 online exams and then 1 in-person exam on Monday. That's just a business class. Should be all right on all of them.
So basically y'all played Memphis Sunday, and obviously I'm sure you're prepared, but you'll probably have to do at least some studying coming back. Going to the exam.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so May 3rd will be your graduation day. but y'all have baseball season like still going. So like, how do you balance the excitement of graduation as a student athlete, but also like y'all have a lot of baseball left?
Yeah, I mean, graduation is definitely something that, you know, you want to remember for the rest of your life. And I think we have a game that day, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I know y'all have next midweek off. I'll look it up during the break. And I know that at some point they will recognize all the guys who are graduating. So it's just one of those things maybe you obviously get through and do, but you put on the back burners or after the season maybe as far as like really celebrating it.
Yeah. Just, you know, that day, just taking that time to whatever graduation stuff we have, you know, be there for that. And then when it's over, just flip the switch, get ready for the game.
Yeah, May 3rd, Friday, 6 o'clock, South Florida will roll into town. That'll be a fun series. I don't know, South Florida, I feel like they talk more than most teams in the league. Am I wrong there? Or was that old South Florida?
USF?
Yeah. They like to mix it
a little
up,
bit.
I feel like.
I think UCF used to talk more than them.
The Florida teams, they let you hear it, you know, as a Florida guy. So, yeah, at Memphis this weekend, South Florida. You guys and UTSA are tied atop the league standings right now. 12 conference games left, so still a long way to go, Jacob. Do y'all look at that as players, as motivation, or is it just at the end of the day, got to go out and play Pirate baseball?
Just got to go out and play Pirate baseball. That's all we're worried about. We know if we do that, then, you know, we're going to be in a good situation.
Johnny Robertson, who is our stat guy, he says in his last 4 games versus State, Jacob is batting .706 with 7 runs, 5 RBIs, 2 homers, 2 doubles, and a triple, 12 hits, and 17 at bats. So, I don't know. Do you not like seeing red?
I guess not. Or blue, Carolina.
Yeah, you've had some pretty good games against those two, no doubt. And, you know, maybe we need more red teams in the conference. Houston's gone, so we need to bring in some more red. Jacob Starling with us. A few more things for you. So what is most important moving past the game like last night? Like, you know, you're on the show, you're getting some pub for hitting for the cycle. Is it truly just quickly putting it behind you and moving on to Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, I've already really put it behind me.
Yeah.
And this is a big weekend for us, and, you know, we need to be ready to go. So.
Bobby Horard, who actually be joining us late in the next segment, he's got a good question. With the runner on the field last night, does Jacob enjoy seeing the streakers getting laid out by security? What would he do if someone ran by him at second base? How weird was that, man?
I had no idea. I didn't see it. It was after my home run, and
yeah,
I think I was just, you know, walking around the dugout. But yeah, someone told me after the game, and then I saw the videos after. But if a streaker ran past me.
The State left fielder, like he was about to tackle him and he backed off. Like, would you try to lay him out or just stay out of it?
Man, I don't know the rules behind that, but I'd probably let the cops take care of that or whoever it is.
The good thing was he wasn't a true streaker. He had clothes on,
Yeah.
so I'm glad he at least did that. But, I mean, we saw a little bit of everything last night. Cycle, clothes streaker, new sellout crowd. So good stuff at Clark LeClaire. You know, big keys for you guys, not only going on the road, but the rest of the season. It feels like y'all always play your best baseball kind of when exams are over, Jacob. You've been in this program a long time. So what allows y'all to do that, and you know, why do you think y'all can be that successful again down the stretch this year?
I mean, it just frees you up knowing that, you know, baseball is the only thing you have to worry about. Yeah, I think everyone's just, you know, has more energy at the field during practice. No added stress. So, yeah, I think we can definitely do it again this year.
All right, he is Jacob Starling. Jacob, we'll get you over to rehab and therapy, man, and keep that oblique good. But we appreciate the time, as always, and congrats on the cycle. Best of luck at Memphis and your exams.
Appreciate it.
He's Jacob Starling. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll be joined by Bobby Horard. We'll switch gears. We'll talk some NFL draft coming up Thursday nights. We'll mock the first 10 picks, give our thoughts, also discuss more with Bobby on ECU. After this, you're listening to Hoist the Colors.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227. about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, Newbern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo.
Drink up, me hearties, yo ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Wednesday, April 24th edition. Bobby Horard is in studio. All he is doing is hitting behind a guy who hit for the cycle last night, Bobby. So how do you feel about that?
Dude, when you texted me this morning and said I'm behind Star, I was a little just nervous, I guess. Yeah. I mean, he's a local celebrity now. He had a heck of a game last night. It was awesome to watch. Always cool, like as baseball lovers, like the three of us are, seeing somebody hit for the cycle. I mean, like you said, it hadn't been done in 14 years. It's pretty
crazy,
awesome,
man. And with as many like blowout wins as ECU has had and great players, you would think it would happen in a 14-year span, and it hadn't. Just shows you how rare it can be. You said you watched most of the game last night before we get in the NFL. How about the Pirates are 32-8? That's pretty loud from a record standpoint through this part of the season.
It is, and that's what, man, I'd say that win last night was awesome. Y'all mentioned it a little bit in that interview, how frustrating and annoying would have been if that umpire at third base took away his triple. Like
he was looking for a reason to call him out.
That
Otherwise,
was weird.
I don't get it.
Yeah. But it was just an awesome game. I thought they did a really good job. I mean, anytime NC State scored runs, we responded, which I thought was big. And then, you know, those innings from Ethan Norby and settling things down from a pitching standpoint really, really helped. It's just, and I'm glad they took advantage. I mean, this is one of our few chances to get RPI points. So to be able to win and take advantage of those RPI points is huge.
You asked the question about the streaker. So you were watching on TV. How much did they show? Did they show the guy on TV, or did you see the stuff on Twitter?
I saw it on Twitter. I don't know if they showed it on TV.
Yeah.
We were leaving. We ate dinner at our in-laws, and we're watching it some there. And then on the way home, I think is when it happened. And so I missed it, but I saw it on social media. I saw they had the security guard that tackled him to do the jungle jump or whatever, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, I was just curious if Jacob would be one to kind of let him go, or I know as just a former football person, I love seeing those guys get decked.
Right.
Because most of the time they're not expecting it. They're just running, looking up in the crowd and get leveled. So I was curious what Jacob would do. But he's probably making the smart decision by stepping back and letting security handle it.
I thought it was funny. The NC State left fielder was about to level him and then, backed off. It was pretty good. Philip, we've got Scooter coming on Friday. He said he's going to play his streaker call on the radio. Did you hear it last night?
No, I didn't. We actually were training one of our new guys, and I honestly was not paying as much attention to like the non-details of the game. I haven't even seen the video. He was wearing clothes, right? It wasn't like a true
He was
streak.
wearing clothes,
okay.
Yeah. He was fully dressed.
Did he get arrested or just kicked out? Do we know?
I don't know.
I know security kind of took him off.
Yeah, security took him off. And he honestly he lasted for a little bit longer than I thought he would. I think security was surprised somebody was out there because it took him. He started in right field, made his way over to left field. did kind of a loop and then was finally tracked down. But
because that was like the grounds crew that kind of got a hold of him at first.
Yeah.
And why do they call it a streak? I mean, he's clothed, so why?
Yeah.
I mean,
it should be a different term.
I
I
guess,
always was told streak was the
Yeah, like streaker, you're supposed to be naked or at least less clothed, I guess.
Yeah, if nothing else, just wearing a Speedo or something.
Trespasser. I don't know. He was
Intruder.
definitely trespassing.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to do Thursday night is the first round of the NFL draft. As Philip said in the break, it's basically a holiday. Should be. And I think we're all excited, although the Panthers do not have a first-round pick. So sorry about that, Philip and Bobby. But, hey, the Commanders, Bobby's former team, his ex-girlfriend, picked second overall. And it should be a crazy draft because there is so much unknown out really after the first pick, but definitely after the first two picks because most people expect Jaden Daniels to go to the Commanders. So I guess we'll go pick by pick, guys, around the horn. Y'all cool with doing that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go mock draft. And, Bobby, you can maybe explain the rules better because you do this with some of your buddies.
Yeah, yep.
You're going to grade the picks based on where the player is slotted, not necessarily what team, in case we were projecting trades.
Correct. Yep. Where the player is slotted. So, for example, say Drake May gets picked number 3, whether that's the Patriots or the Vikings or the Broncos or whoever it may be, as long as Drake May is selected at number 3, that counts. So that's a point towards that selection.
All right, we ready to do this? We'll go one by one and have some discussion along the way, and feel free to weigh in the comments section with any thoughts on the draft. We'll share those as well. All right, first overall pick, Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, Southern Cal. Are we all in agreement there?
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yep, I think that's pretty unanimous.
Yeah, so, that's going to happen.
And I do think it needs to be mentioned the Panthers-owned first-round pick that was traded to the Bears.
This could be the Panthers. Instead,
it could have been
Bryce Young.
What would we have done? Would we have traded out of it, I guess?
Well, I don't know if we would have had Bryce Young.
That's true, yeah.
So I guess we would take Caleb Williams, which, honestly, Caleb Williams could end up sucking. It's really an unknown with NFL quarterbacks, but I think I would prefer Caleb Williams than Bryce Young just from a height standpoint.
That's true.
He's definitely got the most talent. It's just I've heard, some scouts question like leadership and all that sort of stuff, the intangibles. We'll see how that plays out. All right, number 2 overall. I guess I'll go first. I'm sticking with the Commanders, and I project they will pick Jaden Daniels, quarterback, LSU. Bobby?
Yep, Jaden Daniels. I think that's just a lot of media noise that's going on right now with social media. So I am expecting, and from all the podcasts I've listened to that are Commanders-based, I know their media up there is expecting Jaden Daniels as well.
What you got, Philip?
Yeah, I got Jaden Daniels. I think you've got to take him. Look, he's more what you see nowadays in modern football with his ability to run and make plays, with his legs, not only running the ball but throwing on the run. I think that he's more pro-ready from a scout standpoint, what they're looking for than Drake May. Not that I don't think Drake's going to be good, but it's kind of where I'm leaning.
All right, third pick is owned by the Patriots. There's some speculation here. If they don't like the quarterback, they could trade back. I have them taking Drake May, quarterback, North Carolina. Bobby?
Yeah, but I also have Drake May, whether it's the Patriots or somebody trading up to that number 3 pick. Yeah. I do think Drake May is the next quarterback off the board.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard some rumors the Pats don't really like Drake, so we could see a trade in this spot, but I definitely think he is the third pick, and I do not think the Pats trade out of it.
Josh88 questions, is Drake May overrated? And I have heard, again, a lot of this is based on like what we listen to, so somebody can have a completely different opinion. A lot of teams in the NFL like his upside but view him as a project, as a guy who would have to sit and learn a little bit. So who's the Patriots quarterback?
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, and Jacoby Brissett. I think they still have Bailey Zappi on the roster.
Okay. So, he could theoretically sit behind. I feel like Brissett's one of the better backup veterans in the league and learn a little bit. I don't know. How do you feel about Drake May?
Yeah, from a intangible standpoint, the arm strength is there. The size is obviously there. I mean, that's what you want in a quarterback, 6'4", and he's pretty agile and athletic, so he can move. Some of the film that I've seen broken down on him, a lot of his mishaps or concerns are footwork in the pocket. He tends to just drift into the pocket, which he ends up drifting into pressure.
Yeah.
But I think that's fixable. I mean, good NFL coaching. That's day one stuff right there, footwork wise, that they're going to be able to correct. And he wasn't obviously surrounded with the talent that Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are at their two, LSU and USC. And I also think these quarterbacks, man, they get hyper analyzed during this time of the season, or this time of the year. So I am expecting Drake May to be a solid NFL starting quarterback, and I could see him, maybe needing half a year or whatever to sit. And Jacoby Brissett's a good one to learn from.
What do you think about Drake May, Philip?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Obviously, he had a great year. What was it, 2 years ago in college? This year, not quite as good. You got to take him here. Just because of the high demand for quarterbacks. Is he the talent level of a typical number 3 pick in the NFL draft? No. But a lot of times your number 3 pick in the NFL draft is something like a defensive tackle, a position that very seldomly busts. So, he's going to have a lengthy career. Is it as a starter or a backup? I'm not sure. But if you're New England or you're whoever ends up with the number 3 pick, I mean, you're there for a reason. You're there to take a quarterback. You got to take him. You got to hope he works out. But the good thing is he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's going to be very coachable. And so hopefully he can lose some of those bad habits, because it's not a lack of arm talent. It's not some of the stuff that you can't teach.
All right, 4th overall pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. is who I have going to the Cardinals, wide receiver. At first I had somebody trading up to take another quarterback. But we'll see what Bobby has.
We're 4 for 4 right now. The same one. I also have Harrison Jr. I think Cardinals are going to hold on and not trade that pick and go ahead and get another receiver for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I agree. With Hollywood Brown leaving and going to Kansas City in the offseason, obviously lost Christian Kirk a couple years back to the Jaguars. They really just need to have weapons for Kyler Murray right now, and this guy is going to be a generational talent just like his father. I've got Marvin Harrison Jr. going number 4.
I feel like he's pretty much considered the top receiver. I'm sure we're all going to have some other receivers mocked, so maybe we can discuss it after the top 10. But is anybody else getting run as ahead of Harrison, or is he kind of the top guy?
I've seen Malik Neighbors' name mentioned quite a bit now, and I know Diana Rossini of The Athletic had an article this morning or the other day essentially mentioning, some of these executives, and, obviously they're anonymous, are saying, and it could just be one, but they're saying they think Neighbors is a better talent than Harrison Jr. He's more explosive and has higher upside.
All right, 5th pick belongs to the Chargers, and this is a spot where if somebody wants to come up and get a quarterback and make sense, Chargers could hold firm. I've got a trade here. Do y'all have a trade, or y'all sticking with Chargers?
I have a trade, yeah.
I have a trade, too.
We're going to be 5 for 5.
Oh, my goodness.
I've got the Vikings trading up and getting J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan, the 4th quarterback off the board in 5 picks. Bobby.
I swear we didn't do this together. We did not sit down, the 3 of us, and go through that. I have J.J. McCarthy as well. I think the Chargers are going to trade back. Obviously, they got Justin Herbert. I think, what's his name? The Harbaugh's a wild card, and I think he just wants some hog molly up front, so he'll trade back.
Yeah, I think he trades back as well here. Look, they lost a lot. They've got a lot of pieces to fill. With the Vikings having 2 first-round picks, I think the Chargers are going to try and take advantage of that so the Vikings get their quarterback. So I got the Vikings trading up and taking JJ.
Yeah, if you look at it, and we'll kind of talk about the quarterback situation here, the Vikings pick 11th, the Broncos pick 12th, the Raiders pick 13th. All those teams need a quarterback. As a Denver fan, I honestly hope Denver does not trade up, because I am not sold on J.J. McCarthy. I'm not sold on any of the quarterbacks, period. Now, I do trust Sean Payton to an extent on evaluating it if he feels strongly about a guy in his offense. But Denver doesn't have a second-round pick already. And they already traded all those picks for Russell Wilson. They're in a true rebuild. Last thing they need to do is go reach for a quarterback. So the Vikings make the most sense. They have the most draft capital. But the Raiders are kind of sneaky, too. And I've even heard the Seahawks could look at moving up What's your take on the quarterback market for the potential fourth quarterback in this scenario, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Vikings make the most sense. I think their general manager is also under the most pressure. I don't know if they've made the playoffs since he's taken over as the general manager, and then obviously they did not re-sign Kirk Cousins, and they still have a pretty solid roster, and especially having Justin Jefferson at receiver. So it makes a lot of sense. I'm with you from a Broncos perspective. Like, rebuild the roster this year and probably even next year, and then kind of have it all set up for taking a quarterback when the time has come. And I'm assuming in 2 years you'll kind of have all your picks back from the Sean Payton trade and the Russell Wilson stuff.
Too many trades.
Yeah. Don't learn from the Panthers. And
yes, exactly. That is my fear.
Yep.
Philip, what do you think? Could Denver move up here? You've got ties to Colorado, so I don't know if you are interested in Denver moving up here.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here. I don't want to see them move up again. Like you said, they've given away a lot of picks. And if you look at the history of sports, when you give away picks, whether it be the NBA and the Nets giving up all those picks to the Celtics, or you look at the Vikings giving up a bunch of picks to the Dallas Cowboys, it seems like the team that receives the picks always tends to be the one that benefits from the trade. They don't have draft capital as it is. You know, it would be different if there was a generational guy in this draft, but there's not, and even if there was, he would be the number one pick, and Denver's definitely not going that high up. There's a lot of teams going to be reaching for quarterbacks. It's okay for the Broncos to stink next year and then worry about getting a guy, because right now you're looking at, Penix or McCarthy. If you got to trade up, one pick or something like that to get Penix, okay, because you're trying to trade up over, a potential to keep the Raiders or the Seahawks from jumping you. I get that. I'm not opposed to that, but I don't want to see them reach into the top 5.
And the thing I don't think is discussed enough with Penix and the quarterbacks is, Penix is left-handed, and that's different. That's unique. Thinking of obviously Tim Tebow, but outside of that, up until Steve Young, Steve Young, what left-handed quarterbacks have been? Vic, I forgot about Vic. But he was just so electric. Yeah. Anyway, Madden 04 or whatever he was on the cut, was awesome.
Couldn't stop him.
Yeah, my brother and I, we had a rule that you could not select the Falcons because it was almost a cheat code having Michael Vick.
It's like using the Raiders in Tecmo Super Bowl.
So we've got one break left to take, right, Philip?
Yeah, we do.
Let's go ahead and get that in. We'll come back. We'll do the last 5 picks of the top 10. By the way, Basil's today brings you Bobby Horard, Basil's Restaurant and Pizzeria, 1675 East Fire Tower Road. Check them out. Great pasta, pizza, salads, and everything at Basil's. We'll be right back to close out the show with our NFL Draft Special. This is Hoist the Colors.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Inner Banks Media and 107.9 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
1, 2, 3, say, I love beach music.
It's back April 25th with the Embers.
Girls hit you hallelujah, 'cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Don't miss Concert on the Common with the Embers.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Inner Banks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job. Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and I go. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
All right, welcome back into Hoist the Colors. Final segment here. Bobby Horard in studio, brought to you by Basil's today. We are doing our mock draft for the first 10 picks of the NFL draft. We had Jacob Starling on earlier. You can check that out. 94.3 The Game. YouTube page also will be in podcast form as he hit for the cycle last night in ECU's 10-6 win over NC State. Now we're talking NFL. We've done the first 5 picks. We all have the same picks. Caleb Williams, number 1. Jaden Williams, number 2. Drake May, 3rd. Marvin Harrison Jr., 4th. J.J. McCarthy, 5th. Next up is the 6th overall pick with the New York Giants. I'll tell you what, let's mix it up. We'll let Bobby go first this time. What
Hopefully we have some parity. I have Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, LSU.
No parity on my end there.
I also have Malik Neighbors as well. So the Giants need a receiver. They also could use a quarterback, but we don't think they go quarterback here.
No, and I guess if the Giants don't select, what I could and also see happening is maybe they flip flop with the Cardinals at 4.
Yeah,
and select Harrison at 4. No, actually, never mind. I'm tripping because if the Giants traded up, they would get a quarterback. Yeah, but I guess the Cardinals could take Malik Neighbors in that spot at 6 is what I'm saying, yeah.
Okay, 7th overall, it is the Tennessee Titans. We'll start with Philip this time, see if we can get a different answer.
I got Joe Alt, tackle Notre Dame.
Joe Alt, tackle Notre Dame.
Joe Alt, tackle Notre Dame.
Guys, we're either going to be absolutely awful or 100%.
There's zero shot that the draft is playing out like this if we're all predicting it.
None.
8th overall, the Atlanta Falcons are up, and maybe we can get some differing answers here. Let's start with myself, I guess. Rome Odunze, is that how you pronounce it? From Washington, the receiver?
Yep, I think that's right.
Okay.
Finally, some parity.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. I got Dallas Turner, edge. B is for Bama.
I'm also going with the edge, and I have no idea how to say his name. I'm going with that big Samoan kid or whatever he is out of UCLA. How do you say his name, Bobby?
I have no idea.
The kid out of UCLA, edge rusher. Edge
rusher out of UCLA.
I would botch his name, so.
You know, somebody who covers recruiting now, it is interesting, guys, how this is like gone from like defensive end to edge. I guess just because like there's, instead of writing defensive end / outside linebacker, everybody just wants to put edge to make it more simple. I don't know. The game has evolved. It feels like, too, this is more of a big picture question, like inside linebacker is just not valued anymore because it's a hard position to play, and you can't really get a guy who can do everything almost. It's just not as valued as it once was, much like running back.
Yeah, I mean, the off-the-ball linebackers, I mean, they're just shuffling around every offseason,
Yeah.
it feels like. What is unique about that is the teams that had the most success in the playoffs and stuff this year had solid guys at middle linebacker. I mean, you look at the 49ers and what they have, the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the Chiefs, I'm trying to remember who they have at middle linebacker, but regardless, most of those solid teams have good middle linebackers that were drafted in the late round. And I think the other thing is there's such a value on these pass rush specialists that they can bring in on third down and just get after the pass rusher.
So, hey, at least we got some different picks there at the 8th spot. Odunze, I think it's Odunze is who I've got from Washington going to the Falcons. All right, number 9. The Chicago Bears, and there's a lot of talk they could potentially trade down here and accumulate more picks with 2 top 10 picks already under their belt. But I'm going to go with a little bit of a maybe surprise here. I'm going to go Georgia tight end Brock Bowers to Chicago to go with Caleb Williams. which would be a fun dynamic to watch. Bobby, who you got?
I'm going to go Rome Odunze from Washington. I think they are going to get kind of in that same realm, get Caleb Williams, a wide receiver, to throw to with the Bears' original pick. I could very easily see them trading back, but I still think there's a receiver selected here in this round or area of the draft.
I'm going to go a little off the wall here. I think with them getting Keenan Allen, obviously they have DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. I think they're going to go defense, stick to the truth that is the Chicago Bears, and I think they're going to take Dallas Turner, the edge, out of Alabama here.
All right, Dallas Turner, the edge. So 3 different picks there. So we finally have found some different opinions. In the 10th overall pick, the New York Jets own this. And so I wanted to go offensive tackle here. And kind of like me and Philip were talking earlier, the consensus offensive tackle number 1 is Joe Alt. But then after that is like who is going to be number 2 as far as offensive lineman. I've got the Jets picking Alabama offensive tackle J.C. Latham, but I don't love that. But that's what I'm going with.
Isn't there another offensive tackle out west?
There's a few, yeah. I can't pronounce her name either.
Yeah. I have Brock Bowers, tight end, Georgia. I think they are going to get the conspiracy theorist a tight end to throw to and have another weapon. I like the Jets a lot. I feel like if Rodgers can stay healthy, they have a chance to be pretty good.
I like that pick if it could come to fruition. What do you got, Philip?
Yeah, look, he needs somebody to throw to. And when you actually look at this draft class, the guy that might be the biggest player 15, 20 years down the line, we look back at this draft class, is probably going to be Brock Bowers. He's going to be a generational tight end. It's crazy that he's even fallen to 10, but I think it's just how the draft's going to play out because talent-wise, I think he's at least top 3 in this draft. And when the Jets see him at 10, you got to take him.
Have y'all seen Brock, like the video that circulated of Brock Bowers just like walking around? He kind of looks very dorky and not what you would expect from just like an ass-kicking tight end, but just very normal looking dude that you would think may work in a business, wearing a suit and tie.
What is his size, like 6'4", 6'5"?
That's a good question.
So here's the problem I have with Brock Bowers potentially going to the Jets is their offensive coordinator is Nathaniel Hackett, who I feel like if you're going to be a tight end that is well utilized, you need a really good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, 6'4", 240. But hey, he will be at the Jets longer than Nathaniel Hackett is at the Jets.
This is true.
I mean, look, Kyle Pitts will finally be used this year. Now that hopefully the Falcons have figured out that he's a top 5 tight end in the league.
Why is that though with NFL offensive coordinators? Like Hackett is got another job right after the Broncos fiasco. Yep. Matt Canada, as terrible as he is as a play caller,
recycled.
Dude, he just gets promoted after promote. Like he goes from LSU to the NFL. It just doesn't make sense to me. Some of these guys, and maybe it is just all about connections.
So Denver picks 12th, and again the Vikings would pick 11th. I don't really know, and I'm talking kind of for myself here as a Denver fan, but it's like I think they almost sit in a pretty good spot because if they don't take a quarterback, they could get. There's a lot of speculation. I don't have a single defensive player in the top 10, so there's a lot of speculation they could get their pick of the top defensive player available, and they need an edge and they need a corner. So I don't know. I hope they stay away from trading up because I feel like it's just going to kill them. I do have some trivia for y'all. As Zach Wilson got traded to the Denver Broncos, there have been only 3 first-round quarterbacks that did not lead their original team to the playoffs, but led their next team to the playoffs. Only 3 in history. Zach Wilson would have to do that after not doing it with the Jets. Would try to do it with the Broncos. Can you name those 3? 2 are still active. One of them was drafted by the Panthers.
Oh, so it's not Steve Young, because I was thinking possibly Steve Young. Did he not take the Bucs to the playoffs, or was he not a first-round pick?
Brett Favre is 1.
No, he was drafted in the second round. He was like the 33rd pick.
First rounder. Okay. Yep.
Geno Smith was a popular answer, but he was also a second-round pick.
Oh,
okay. 2 active quarterbacks and 1 that was drafted by the Panthers.
Well, let me make sure he was drafted by them. He played for the Panthers.
I was about to say, Kerry Collins did take the Panthers to the playoffs, so it's not Kerry Collins.
He is actually one of them.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Who was he drafted by?
He was drafted by
the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Yeah.
So did he take the Panthers to the playoffs?
Yeah, in 96, he took us to the NFC Championship game.
Well, then the stats are wrong. So
yeah.
The other 2 are active, though?
Yes, the other two are active. So I heard this stat on a podcast. So maybe there's only two. But Kerry Collins was one, they said.
Tannehill took one.
No, he's not a first round.
Tannehill was one.
Is he? I thought he took the Dolphins to the playoffs one year, and they got like spanked in the first round as like the 5 seed.
Well, if so, then this person who made up the stat said it wrong.
Did zero research on this thing.
I mean, I could be wrong about Tannehill. I really could be, but that's where I was leaning.
Well, we're running out of time. The other one is Baker Mayfield.
Okay, yeah.
But Baker took the
He did take
Browns
the
to
Browns
the
to the
playoffs.
playoffs.
So maybe
your list stinks.
All right, maybe this stat was, this is the last time I ever do a trivia, first-round quarterbacks that maybe led their original team and the next team, which I don't know how that applies to Zach Wilson.
Well, no, because, Peyton Manning took his original team and his next team, and he was a first-round pick.
I don't know. We got to get out of here tomorrow. Deontay Johnson, Bethany Bratcher. We'll see you then.
Host Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more